Want to go for a dip?
My cousin's got a great bar just around the corner, cocktails and everything. And I think it's about to be happy hour.
This is what he does, okay? He finds missing people. We believe both of the children were found alive.
Let's play our historic first ever game.
Who's this joker?
Hi, I'm Sophia Jessica, and this is Angel, and welcome to the fan carpet.
Hey, Marc.
Hey, Howard. How are you doing, mate?
Not bad, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, doing well, thanks.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Good to see you.
You too. How's everything going?
Yeah, all right. It's a busy time at the moment because, of course, I've got Escape, but it's now out in the UK and a bunch of other countries, and DarkGame's coming up. It's out in America already, but it's coming up here on from 21st of October onwards. So, yeah. And then not long after that, River of Blood is turning up. So, yeah, it's kind of one of those times, like buses, right? They all come at once.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's a great time to be around. So River of Blood, is that a UK release or America?
Actually, no, neither at the moment. Funny enough,
okay.
It's a funny one because it's only 11 months ago we started shooting the film. In fact, I think it's just coming up 11 months now, so it's really quite quick. They're starting weirdly with a full. I say weirdly, is why not? Whichever country comes first, right? Full platform release in Scandinavia for River of Blood. I've never had a film come out in Scandinavia first, but that's okay. Tends to take a little longer in the UK. I don't know why. I'm not saying we're slower or anything else, but I always notice the UK releases of films come a fair bit down the line after other countries, normally America. But hey, that'll come.
Yeah, that's interesting. Scandinavia is going first this time.
You know what? There we are. They got their act together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, you're looking well, mate.
Thank you. You too.
And thanks for covering up.
Proper beard growth going on there.
Yeah, I haven't shaved. Yeah, I haven't shaved, but I mean the weather's turning at the moment, so I mean it was raining a minute ago, and now the sun's come out, so it's written.
No matter how long I stay in this country, I can never get used to our weather.
Yeah, but you do a lot of traveling, so
do a lot of traveling. I think that's my one of my vices, one of my main vices.
Yeah,
the one I'll admit to.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Awesome. So it's always a pleasure to speak to you. So what can you tell us about DarkGame?
Yeah, so DarkGame is basically starring Ed Westwick, who was in Gossip Girl and many other things, and Andrew P. Stephen, and it tells the story of a cop trying to bring down this presenter who's doing a live game of death on the dark web. So it's basically sort of delving into the dark web, really, where he's this masked guy is performing, ultimately kidnapping people off the street and forcing them to play a game to the death. Now, this game could be like rock, paper, scissors, dodgeball, all sorts of weird stuff, right? And someone's not going to make it out alive. So the cops are trying to bring him down, headed by Ed Westwick.
Awesome. So what was it about DarkGame that made you want to tell this story?
Yeah, well, funny enough, the DarkGame, I directed DarkGame, but I'm not the writer of DarkGame. Tom, producer, is a guy I've known for many years, great guy. There's a guy that I wanted to work with, and he'd been developing this project, also with Gary Grant and Niall Johnson, the writers. And so by the time it came to me, this story was already in place. Because I guess I write maybe 70% of the films that I make, but DarkGame I write it off. So Tom sent me the script. I'd seen him at one of these film markets, networking events, and he said, "Are you available on X date?" And I was like, "Yeah, maybe." And he sent me the script. And at first I started reading it, and I thought, "Oh no, this is straight away going to be one of these, like, I don't know, torture porn movies or whatever I'm going to say." It isn't. But the first couple of pages were like, okay, there's a girl gonna get her head cut off with a chainsaw. This is like full on and straight in. And I thought, well, maybe I'm not going to do this film. How am I going to tell Tom, really nice guy, I'm not going to do it? But then I started reading further, and I realized there was a lot more to DarkGame. And that I felt it was a sort of statement on where the internet is going. I mean, it's kind of, the internet's good. I could talk to you, Marc, right now on the internet, but so that's all good, and there's good things, but there's also a lot of dark things, and it's troubling what's on there. So I thought this is a bit of a statement on where the internet could be heading. And it was a challenge for me to do something really different, because normally my films take place in exotic locations, they're sort of journey movies, but here we're having to connect through the screen because this game is taking place online, you know. So it was a challenge in that way too.
Awesome. So what was your initial inspiration for Dark Game, and how does this differ to Escape?
Well, Escape, well, it's funny, isn't it? Because it only really occurred to me, weirdly. Currently, both films have people kidnapped, right, and held against their will.
Yeah.
And so, but they're very, very different films. So Escape, you know, if you look at him, it's kind of literally light and dark, really, isn't it? I mean, Escape, 10 trafficked women, they're held in an underground place in the desert, but most of the movie takes place in the light, in the bright light. It's kind of Escape is kind of like going on a sunny holiday with a bit of kidnap and things like that. And then it's all about these girls sort of rising up and using their female strengths, both inner and outer strengths, to kind of fight back and take down these guys. So Escape is a lot, you know, is maybe more of a kinetic, energy, bright movie, even though they're both dealing with dark subject matters. Whereas Dark Game, you know, I worked with a wonderful cast and crew there too, and it's much more of a sort of stylized, almost noirish film. So for me, I was happy to jump on board Dark Game because Tom George is a producer I wanted to work with. I loved the script, and I knew Ed Westwick was potentially attached, and he's an actor that I thought, you know, I saw him in White Gold initially, but before I saw Gossip Girl, and I thought, wow, that guy's amazing. He's just got this energy. So he's someone I wanted to work with. The whole crew were incredible. But also Escape, you know, I love Sarah Alexandra Marks. I know you've done an interview with her. She's amazing. She's always just incredible. So you know, Sophie Rankin, Sean Cronin, and the whole cast of Dark Game, absolutely fantastic. So I'm really lucky to work with all these talented people.
Awesome. So what's it mean for you to be a storyteller and use and tell stories in this way using this medium?
Yeah, that's a great question, because I see really I say responsibility as a filmmaker. I'm probably bloody irresponsible half the time, but truth be told, but is that he is a storyteller, and I have always harked it back to this need for this human need for storytelling, which we've had for thousands of years, or maybe forever, right? Cave paintings, sitting around a campfire, someone telling a creepy story, or a story that might have a poignant meaning in life, and a tale that is also a tale to protect people as well as scare them. You know, look at the, you know, like I said, take it back to Escape, but you know, there's as much as it's a piece of entertainment, and I'm not making a documentary here. You know, there's also things people have to be very careful. Young ladies have to be very careful. We all have to be very careful in life. So also on the dark web, we have to be very careful. You're only 3 clicks away. So I see my, you know, as a responsibility as a filmmaker, but also I want to tell stories. That's why I kind of got into filmmaking when I was 13 years old, making short movies. I wanted to tell stories. That's what it was about for me.
Awesome. So do you have any memories from filming Escape and Dark Game that you'll remember for the rest of your career?
Do you know what? These films are pretty much all an indelible imprint on you. It's really, really weird, because also, you know, you plan all of these things and you do your best endeavors to get everything organized and have all your shots in your head. And I try and have all of that stuff part written down, part mainly in my head. But then you get there on location, and unless you've made a movie, it's hard to explain. But you know, it's almost a case of pretty much everything that can go wrong does, or at least it tests you, it prods you. And I think you've got to keep your head there. I mean, I won't forget running around the desert with Escape. You know, in these places that were like you couldn't see any civilization at all. You know, there's no green screen here. There's no AI. We went to the desert, you know, and we took our actors and we took a crew, and with these were really harsh temperatures, conditions, a lot nicer than the UK and the rain we're getting at the moment. So I'm in my little filmmaking bubble, so it's hard for me to make these very specific memories. But it was you know, it was a very it was like a bit of adventure for Escape, and everyone was really wonderful that I worked with there. Dark Game was very intense in another way, because although it's set in Portland, America, we shot the movie in Bristol, and it was freezing cold. You know, most of it's in a studio, and it was a freezing cold studio. And of course, Louis, the DOP there, has done a wonderful job of the lighting, and it's really, really quite a moody thing. So we spent a lot of time in a cold, dark studio with this kind of weird stuff going on in front of us. It was kind of freaky, I've got to say. But luckily, with my memory is just having a wonderful team to work with, really professional team, and I'm always grateful for the cast and crew.
Awesome. So the location in Escape is beautiful and sort of becomes a character within the film. Do you think it's important for films to be produced on real locations rather than the reliance on virtual spaces?
I do. I mean, yeah, actually, it's another great question, and glad you asked it. I really do value, I suppose, for me as a person, I I feel like I'm a bit of an adventurer anyway. I think even if I wasn't making movies, I feel like I'd be traveling to far-flung places because I want to see them. I want to see the world. We have a limited time here on this planet or wherever we go, whatever you believe in. We have this finite amount of time, and I want to see as much of as possible. I have my little globe here at my desk, and I look at it and I kind of go, no matter how long I live, I'm not going to see, 1% of that planet. And I travel a heck of a lot. My passport's full up. So I really see it as an obligation for me. We're sitting in rooms. Like you're in a room, I'm in a room. 99% of people watching a movie are in a room, four walls, normally. And, so I like to take them somewhere different on a journey. So I've generally favored sort of journey movies because I feel like I want to go there. I want to take people to places they've never seen and to do it for real. I think the technology now is incredibly impressive. And of course, I have to use VFX sometimes. One day I'll probably do a movie that is all green screen. Who knows? I probably will do it. And that'll be a new experiment. But I just think there's something organic. You feel something if you're really there. I think there's you can tell when you're really there. And I believe that the earth, wind, fire, the dust, all of those things, all of those elements, we need them in real life. I feel like we need them in film as well.
Awesome. Can you talk about the casting process you go through for your films? You have some incredible casts with some familiar faces.
Yes, thank you. Well, the casting process differs film to film. So I let's say Escape is one of my indie films. So that's one, I made it up myself. Barely finished writing the script before we went off to shoot it because it was one of my films. I had much more, dare I say, control over that. So, I like to work with people I really get on well with. So, a lot of the cast, there's actually 41 actors in Escape, and I love them all. And these are, a lot of them are my friends as well, people I'm close to friendship wise, and which is really nice to have in this business because it's such a fickle business. I absolutely loved, working with everyone, but Sarah, Alexandra, Marc, Louis, James, obviously Sophie, Rankin, Sean, Cronin, but Sarah and Louis are also in River of Blood. So we've done another movie together, and so I really like working with people I can get on well with, who I feel, because you have so much to do as a director, you kind of want to find people who don't take any of your energy. And I'm not saying people ever do it intentionally, but actors are incredibly different, and I admire them greatly, all of them, for their varied talents, abilities, and tenacity and everything. But I kind of want to assemble teams on my indie movies, which is people that I just really want to be around and go off to some far-flung place, have a nice time. Everyone gets on really well. So there's that, but also you can't do that. I can't do that with every movie, and I won't be able to do that with every movie. So DarkGame, Tom and I did cast some people we know. Sophie Rankin is also in DarkGame as well from the very opening, and everyone did an amazing job. We went through a casting director as well, and the great thing is about that is that you can make brand new discoveries. So let's say Andrew P. Stephen, who is the presenter. He's an actor I'd never met, I'd never heard of, and but he's absolutely fantastic as the presenter. And there's loads, all the cast on the DarkGame I was highly impressed with, and a lot of these people I didn't know. We found them through Jane, casting director. So you get sent self tapes. So a lot of the casting process happens with that. I feel a bit sorry for actors now because they're constantly having to do these self tapes. Sometimes they don't hear anything, and it takes a lot of work for them to learn the lines and do these things. So you find new discoveries that way, and I'm always looking for new discoveries, new actors. But with my indie films, it's probably going to be a little bubble of people that I just want to go on a trip with. If that makes sense.
That's awesome. No, that's absolutely awesome. I mean, we hear about Adam Sandler doing a similar thing
Well,
with
he's doing
his
it with
films.
massive, much higher amounts of money, but you can't blame him.
No,
Yeah, Adam
when it,
Sandler the other night, it's as mad as a box of frogs. Like, you know, because sometimes you just need a good comedy. I make a lot of these heavy films, and I did want comedy and escape. So there is, hey, you know, I know it's a subject matter that might not lend itself to comedy, but it was my 10th feature film as a director. I wanted to have all sorts of ingredients in it, so I've shoved a bit of comedy in there too. But yeah, he does that. That's right. You know, he's probably got 50, 100, or 100 million to go with his mates. You see a lot of the people recurring because he wants those people around. He's at
mhm,
ease. I like my actors, well, everyone, but particularly the actors, to be really at ease, to be really comfortable, and to not feel the pressure on their shoulders. So I'm not one of these directors who likes to put pressure on. I see my role in a way as taking pressure off people if I
mhm.
can. Even if I have to shoulder some worries myself and not let them know about the worries, you know, the police are coming to kick us off the location, but don't worry, we'll do this. We'll do this nice little gentle scene, then we'll run.
Yeah, and you're well trusted. Speaking to your actors, they all trust you. So,
That's
um,
really nice. That means the world, and it really, really does. And you know, I certainly would never do anything intentionally to, you know, it's very hard. You can't make an omelet without breaking eggs. Movies can be a bit of a mess, so it's very easy to put someone's nose out of joint. It really, really is, and it's just a sort of political minefield as well. So it's really nice that you know, and I speak incredibly highly of them. I'm grateful for every single person, you know, the cast absolutely who put and it's really hard sometimes. My movies are not that easy because you know sometimes we don't have a huge amount of time sometimes because they're indie movies. You've got to get them done in a certain space of time, and normally they're quite complex. I don't like to do generally movies where there's like three people in a room. I mean, one day I will, but generally there's like 20 locations and it's a lot of moving parts. So it can be stressful for people. So I think I've really got to take the pressure off them. And the fact that they had a good time is yeah, makes me super happy.
awesome. So it's just been announced that your 11th feature, River of Blood, will receive a release this month. You've said before that this is a quick turnaround. How has that been for you?
Yeah, actually, it was a really good experience. And working with Reinvent, who are a really lovely bunch of people, Copenhagen-based company. I hadn't met them before. Actually, the writer, Tom Boyle, who's a great writer, who wrote The Ledge, he met them in Cannes. And it was one of these meetings, I couldn't attend the meeting because I had you book lots of these meetings and I was kind of stuck. It was the last day and I'd already arranged meetings and I don't really like to cancel or be rude or anything like that. So I stayed at these other meetings. These other meetings probably didn't go anywhere, and I couldn't attend the one that did. And so we got talking via Skype. So we made River of Blood before I'd even met the people who put the money in. So I think it's very trusting. So hey, the internet's great for Skype calls. But that we shot that in Thailand, and that was originally the film was set somewhere else. But I love Thailand. I've been there on a few holidays and I wanted to do a movie there. I'd always thought about it, so I just went there on a recce. When I knew pretty much we were going to do the film, they even agreed to finance it based on Tom's script, myself, and the budget, etc. But I didn't at first kind of want to take the money straight away because I wanted to go and check Thailand. I wanted to check that we could find all these places because doing a movie on a river is kayaking and cannibals. I've still got a few of the props just knocking around. The odd bone axe knocking about, still hanging around as you do. Got plenty of props, escape props too. But I wanted to go there and check we could actually do the thing. You know, could I find all these locations? It's quite hard to do a film on water, or a lot of it. So yeah, it was a good experience, and the Thai crews were fantastic, really hard working, and it was a very quick turnaround. I'd agreed to shoot the film late September last year, and we were then on location end of November. We'd finished it before 20th of December, and then it previewed in Cannes in May, which was an incredibly quick turnaround in post. would have been nice to have a couple of more months, but hey, it was nice to get it screened down there at the market. And here it is, coming up to 21st of October, same day as DarkGame, and it's coming out. It's not here yet, it's not in America yet, but it's got a first release and there's many more to follow. So River of Blood is definitely going to be making its way down or upstream towards you.
Awesome. So who inspired?
Sorry, I'm just going to say that stars Joseph Milson, who's Joseph Milson as well, who's the star of The Dead 2, and it's got David Wayman from The Ledge. It's also got Ella Starbuck from Escape, and of course, it's got Sarah Alexandra Marks and Louis James from Escape 2. So really nice bunch of people.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. They are. They're lovely people.
As well. Come on.
Sorry.
Oh, Tiffany Hannum Daniels as well, who started a lot.
Yeah.
So really got a great bunch of people.
Yeah, and she's in Escape as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So who inspires you in the industry?
Oh, great questions. These it's so many people do. I'm going to say originally Sergio Leone was a director that had a great inspiration. Sadly, no longer with us. Hasn't been for some years, but I just love the way he kind of painted his movies. His small person in a big landscape. I loved all of that. My brother and I both admired him, and again with the Dead movies, we hinted at those things as well. But I also love, there's so many directors I admire. If James Cameron, incredible director, I can't deny. When I remember going to see, obviously I loved, the Terminator, the original. And part 2 was good, but I remember I went to see, very different from my movies, but I remember seeing the Titanic at the cinema, and I got to the end of that movie and I thought, there's no point in me making films anymore. I'm never ever going to make a film as good as that. I'm never going to make something as good as that. What's the point in me trying now? That thing was just bonkers big with detail. I see these big movies and a lot of these directors knock them out the park and they do a decent job. But sometimes these huge movies they lack the little details. And there was this massive thing that had incredible detail and layers and things. And, even if that film's not for everyone, I was blown away. The Sixth Sense, I thought was a movie that really, I thought was, M. Night Shyamalan did such a, that film was a couple of shots away from literally perfect directing. That's almost as close as I've seen perfect directing. Christopher Nolan's, done an amazing job with some, so many movies too. Memento was incredible, and Interstellar. I saw that recently, back on its theatrical run again, and that's a film that blows me away. So there's a lot of amazing inspiration. Clint Eastwood's the man, though. Come on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what are you hoping audience will take away from DarkGame when they see it this month?
Yeah, well, with DarkGame, this is the thing. I feel like it is an exploration of where the internet is potentially going, but I really hope there's a few twists and turns on the way and a few thrills and spills that takes them, you're safe in your seat, but we're going to take you into a very, very dark world. And, be warned, DarkGame is, it's got some very dark parts, but I hope that it's, it's one of those things that where to grip people. And as much as you hate the presenter, the weird thing about him, he's got this power and he's got this, I'm not going to say a god complex. He's kind of like, he's got the power of life and death. And as much as, you want to bring down that guy, there's something about the characters in this film that I find really charismatic, including the serial killer, Larch, who's played by Rick Yale. He's not in the trailer very much, but, there's a lot of great performances here. And I think it's a really smart script, and yeah, very proud to have directed DarkGame. So enjoy it when you do.
Awesome. So what advice would you give to those embarking on their own paths in the industry?
Yeah, look, the film industry is a crazy business. You've got to be prepared to have your heart broken almost on a daily basis in all sorts of capacities. It's a heartbreaking business, both creatively, financially, and I know that sounds awful, but these things, just be careful not to get your hopes up on certain things. Be that a part, be that a pot of money, be that people turning up at your screening and having a great time, or whatever it is, but no matter what hits you in the business, it's about getting back up again and just giving it your best shot, no matter what. It's really, really difficult. But what I'd say to first-time filmmakers is, number one, is find something that you think many, many people will want to see. I know that sounds obvious, but you say, I would want to see that. Right. Why will many, many other people want to see that? So you've got to have something that other people will want to see. And the next thing is, when you get on set, you've got to really get on with it. You've got to get on location. This is the number one thing. When that day comes, because here's the thing with a film, you either finish the film or you F it up. you got one or two things are going to happen. You're either going to finish it or you're going to screw it up. And when you get on location, get that first shot. Know exactly where your camera's going to be, where you want your actors to be, and get on with that first shot, because everything follows after that. That's the beginning of every day. Get that first shot quick, as quick as you can. Stop the lagging. Get on with it. That's my advice. I always try and do that.
Awesome.
Treat people nicely. Treat people with respect.
Always goes without saying. What's been your greatest achievement so far in your career?
I suppose not getting killed. I think I'm amazed I haven't been killed. Really, that's, I think, the biggest achievement, because I've taken myself to some crazy places. I mean, you got to look at what happened on The Dead, which sort of nearly killed us several times over. Some crazy stories about the making of that, and I've filmed at heights with The Ledge. I've filmed at mountains, filmed in deserts. We got stuck in the Sahara Desert when making The Dead. Got lost in the middle of nowhere with no water left, so it very nearly didn't make it out there as well. So it's nice to still be here. It's an honor, but I feel like I've gone into some tricky situations, and it's been chaotic, but I felt like I've prided myself when I've made the best of it, because no one knows what went on behind the scenes. Someone might look at a scene and go, oh, that's all right, that's not bad, I'd have done that. Yeah, but you didn't realize what hell on earth was going on behind the scenes. Never Let Go is a movie I'm also very proud of. That was hard to do in the streets of Morocco. And poor Angela Dixon, who's fantastic, really did an amazing job under difficult circumstances there. And The Lockdown Hauntings, weirdly, I think it's probably one of my most slated movies. But I made that movie with no crew at all in lockdown. Had to come up with it really quick, no time to actually write the script. Angela was still writing her lines by the time I turned up. So I'm very proud of myself for getting that done with no crew, but all the cast who worked on that. There was no full script. They all did their bit. I'm very proud of that film, even though it's a tiny movie. But the one that's got the most heart and soul for me is Adventure Boys. It's just because I'm in it far too much. But it's the only movie where no one gets killed that I've made. It's got my two boys in it. It's a movie that's made on a budget of love, and it's a tiny movie with lots of wonderful cast, and we had a lovely time in the summer shooting that. So I'm quite proud of that too.
Awesome. So with the popularity of streaming services like Netflix and Apple TV, what do you think the future of cinema is?
Yeah, well, God, I really hope. The thing is, Mark, I got into this to tell stories on the big screen. That's, that moment when the lights dim, the curtains open, and you share that experience with an audience. I think there's nothing like that. I think you can never have as good a time watching a movie at home without an audience. I know you can set the scene yourself, you can press play whenever you want, and those are great things. But I think we're going to lack. I think if we kill cinema by not buying tickets, by not going to see films when we get the opportunity to, then we're going to really regret it. Because as much as it's incredibly convenient to watch things streaming, there's nothing like it on the big screen. So I am worried for the future of cinema. I think we're going to kill a lot of cinemas, but then we're going to want them back when they're gone. It's going to be like vinyl. It's going to come back in.
Absolutely. Aside from Escape being out now, and DarkGame and River of Blood out this month, what are you working on next that you can talk about?
Yeah, I'm attached to a bunch of other films. I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to talk about them, but I'm attached to two horrors and two thrillers at the moment. So it's the horror keeps coming back. Because my brother and I are considering doing one more movie together. We're thinking about that. That's a possibility. that would be very much in the horror genre. And I'm attached to a couple of thrillers and a couple of horrors, but I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to talk about them yet. So I don't want to get my wrist slapped. So, but there's definitely things coming out. I'm trying not to make another movie by the end of this year. I need a break for a few months. Probably wearing myself down. I mean, I don't know if my voice is a bit groggy. I think that's part of it. But yeah, but early next year, sort of spring next year, I'll be back with something. Awesome. As long as I'm not killed.
Yeah, yeah, you got plenty of life left. You got plenty of life in you, and you're definitely making a 12th feature, so that's great.
Thank you. Yeah, number 12. I feel like I'm.
Yeah.
I'll get that
all right.
out.
Yeah, awesome. So just finally, where can we find you online to keep up with everything you're doing?
That's a great question. Well, it's probably Google Howard J. Ford. I kept the J. Well, I had an agent once in the UK who did nothing for me except tell me to keep the J in my name, which sounds a bit poncy, but I do it, and that's worked out. So just Googling Howard J. Ford films. I'm not great on Instagram, but I am there. I joined Instagram during DarkGame, unbelievably, because I realised, hang on, I'm working with Ed Westwick, and he posted a picture of myself and him on set, and he's got over 10 million followers, and I was like, couldn't tag me in. I could have had another 500,000 followers there. So, you know, Instagram, Facebook, that kind of thing. I'm not very good at that, but hey, please check out Escape, give that a watch, give DarkGame a watch, and yeah, anyone who watches my films, I'm incredibly grateful for. And I'm grateful for people like you, Marc, who come and interview us, give us the time of day. It's your time, it's your energy, it's your effort. And without people like you, you know, us indie movies, you know, wouldn't survive. We need to get the word out there. So grateful for anyone who checks out any of my films.
Awesome, absolutely. And hopefully you're doing a cast and crew screening for River of Blood later this year.
Yeah, well, actually, I've just had a little conversation about that this morning. There's also a couple of festivals who've reached out that are coming up very soon.
Oh, awesome.
Hopefully we can get in there. So that would be nice. And yeah, see you at one of those, Marc.
Awesome. All right. Well, you take care. Have a good day. Sun's come out. It's weird.
Ah, there you go. We love the sun. We need it. We need it. That's why I go to these hot places, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right. You look after yourself. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, Howard. Take care.
Thanks for your support, and catch you soon.
No worries. Take care, mate. Look after yourself. Bye.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. Please follow us on Facebook, X, and Instagram for more content. Bye for now.
I always fight back.
They'll hunt you down like a pack of wolves. We have a location. 2 strike teams are prepping to go. Come on!
2 minutes out.
You don't have 2 minutes.
Twist.
Drop the wagon! I mean, what else is there to watch?
You show what you can do. I hear a siren. Maybe you were wrong about me. I'm dangerous and still. Why don't you give me a sign like the sea? It's not your problem, it's mine. Everybody thinks that I'm okay. Sometimes I think I am too. I'm on the outside looking in, I'm waiting for the shockwaves to be London cafe, a London cafe. So give me one last serenade. Say to me, or swear at me till the night turns into day. And it was a shame when daylight faded, because we didn't notice at all. Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. If you like this video, be sure to click that thumbs up button at the bottom of your screen. And also be sure to subscribe to the Fan Carpet YouTube channels. They're absolutely free and so much fun too. Be sure to check out the official website, thefancarpet.com. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date with reviews, competitions, the latest news, and so much more.